Hey guys, welcome back to Private Label Project X, where we're taking you on a journey with us to find private label product opportunities, teaching you along the way so that you can build your own business using these same simple methods. Now, in the last episode, we went through a lot of things. We first talked about, well, what are things that signify opportunity when searching for products? What are things that signify opportunity when searching for keywords? Where to search for these opportunities of products and keywords? We went through that whole process and we actually found 5 products and keywords that we're going to be going over today. So if you have not watched last episode, make sure to go back, pause this, go back and watch that episode so that you can be caught up with what we're about to do today. Which is what, Tim? What are we going to do today?
So in this episode, we're going to start validating the keywords and product ideas that we came up with in the last episode. We're going to use on Amazon sources to validate. We're going to use off Amazon sources to validate. We're going to go deep into maybe some stuff that I'm fairly certain most of our viewers have never seen before, ways to potentially check if the product is saturated, even if it's not saturated on Amazon yet. And we're going to dive deep into different data points and kind of information that we can gather to find out, hey, are people really looking for these things? Is this a hot item? And is this something we should launch ourselves? So it's going to be an extremely exciting episode. A lot of real high class value. And again, some really unique tactics and methods that I'm almost certain most of our viewers have never heard of or seen before.
All right, everybody, let's get started. My name is Bradley Sutton from Helium 10, and this is
Tim Jordan from the Private Label Legion.
Now, if you're more of a visual learner, you want to have a written review of kind of what we're going to go over today, make sure to go to helium10.com/X3. All right, guys, we like to start off these episodes with a question for you. What's today's question, Tim?
Let's find out where everybody's from. We hope that this content and this valuable information that we're providing is going to be heard worldwide, because no matter where you're at in this world, you can start a successful business on Amazon. We'd like to know where you're from. Load up in the comments below what country you're from, what state you're from, what city you're from. We probably shouldn't ask for planets.
What address you're from? No, you don't have to give us your address. But in addition to that, don't just say where you're from, but I'm just curious, like what brought you to this journey with us? What brought you to Project X? What made you interested in selling on Amazon? Love to hear your comments below, all right? Let's go ahead and get started. Now, let's start validating those products we found in the last episode. Now, the first product that we had found, I believe we were using the product research method. We had come upon some seeds like baby shower party favors that were flower seeds. Yes. All right. So let's go ahead and pull that up here. Let's see. Here it is right here. Now, the first thing is, as we just saw, we're not exactly sure what the keyword necessarily is on this. What keywords are driving their sales? I believe the search that we had done, we know that they're selling like at least $5,000 a month estimated. Actually, let's take a look right here. I'm on the product page right here. I'm going to use the Helium 10 Chrome extension to just take a look at this. All right, so the last 30 days, they're selling estimated about $4,000 per month. So my question obviously is, if I know they're selling about that much, is what keywords might be driving those sales, right? Because remember, we don't want to just focus on the product itself. How do people find products? They find it from
the keywords.
The keywords, all right? So what keywords are people using to find this product? Because if we're going to come out with something similar to this, guess what? Those same keywords have got to drive people to our listing as well. So what tool do you think I'm going to use for this, Tim?
Cerebro.
Cerebro is a reverse ASIN lookup tool. That might seem like complete gibberish to many of you. Tim, can you explain what reverse ASIN kind of means?
Yeah, so every single listing on Amazon has an ASIN number, ASIN, which is Amazon specific inventory number, something like that.
I have no idea.
I don't know. All I know is every listing has one. So every single listing indexes, that's the term we use, indexes for a specific keyword, which means Amazon matches this product or this listing with a specific keyword. So it indexes for that keyword.
Okay, so basically what's going to happen here, Cerebro is going to pull out all of the keywords that Helium 10 has detected this product is showing up in the search results in the top 300 positions. It's also giving a lot of other keyword information, but we're not going to talk about those yet. Those are going to be for later episodes. So right now, what I want to focus on is the organic keywords. Okay, what does that mean? This is saying that we have detected over 400 keywords that this product is showing up for in the top 300. But again, what are we trying to find? We're trying to find what are maybe the main keywords that are driving sales to this product. All right, so how do you think I'm going to narrow it down? Let's take it a step back. Tim, you talked last episode about buying something for a GoPro or something like that, right? Now, did you actually buy one that day that you were searching for?
I did, yeah.
Okay, what page was it on?
It's probably on page 1.
Page 1.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Normally, you probably buy things on page. If I don't find something on page 1, the first page of my search, I'm either searching for something else or I give up. All right. So just because there's listings on 6, 7, 8 pages, really we know that if something's on page 6 or 7 or 8, it's probably not driving sales. So I'm going to narrow down this 458 words here by using this filter here called organic rank. So basically, I'm telling Helium 10, all right, there's 458 words that it's ranking for, but show me where they're like on the top half of page 1, like 1 in 15. You think that's a fair number?
Yeah.
1 in 15. All right. And I'm also going to say, hey, maybe there's something that's being searched for 20 times a month, estimated, like 1 time a day. That's probably not a keyword that's bringing them a lot of sales, right? So what kind, 30 searches is probably not going to bring much traffic potentially right now because remember, we're talking about a product that's already getting sales. All right. So if it's only being searched for 20, 30 times a month, that's probably not where it's getting the majority of its $5,000 of sales. So what kind of minimum do you think I should put in here?
Somewhere around 300. I think that's maybe 10 searches a day.
Yeah, let's throw that in there. All right. Now, we had said here 458 keywords. Let's see what that narrows it down. 16 keywords. Let's take a look here. All right. Baby shower favors. Take a look at this keyword right here. Baby shower favors. It is searched for an estimated 30,000 times almost a month. So what does your computer like mine say that's a day?
100? 10? I don't know.
1,000 times a day this is being searched for. Right. Okay. Let's go now. Organic rank. This is saying that the last time that Helium 10 checked, it is page 1, position 1 for that keyword. All right. This is sometime in the last few weeks. We detected it right there. So right off the bat, I know that they're probably getting the majority of their sales from this keyword. So just because this is the most searched keyword for this listing, it still doesn't mean much to us. Doesn't mean that this is a great opportunity or not. So what is the next step? Let's take it back to Amazon and take a look at some of the competition there. All right. So let's go ahead and search for this baby shower favors. I'll pull this up right now.
And while he's pulling it up, let me explain. This is a great example of it doesn't matter what the product is. It matters what the keywords are, right? So even if we have the greatest product in the world, we still have to compete with relevant keywords. So people probably, and we can look this up, aren't searching shower seed packet, which is in the title. People are searching for baby shower favors. So now we need to check the competitive level of that keyword, not the competitive level of that exact product.
Okay, so here we are. It still is, remember Cerebro said it was page 1, position 1 sometime in the last couple of weeks, but it still is page 1, position 1. It's actually Amazon's choice.
So let me explain this. What we're talking about, position.
Yes.
See these circles right here that say sponsored? That means that someone's running a pay-per-click ad on this keyword. So someone is intentionally telling Amazon, hey, when someone searches baby shower favors, show my listings. So right here, that sponsor tells us that they are paying for that placement. And if we clicked on that, then that seller would be charged for it. So this is position 1 organically, okay?
Organically. That's another word. Sometimes we have a lot of terminology that we just take for granted, but we want to make sure that you guys understand it. And remember, if there's anything that you don't understand, don't forget to put that in the comments below. Hit us up on Facebook. We're doing the AMA on Friday. You can ask us these questions now, but we'll hopefully try and explain everything so you guys can understand it. All right. So this is page 1, position 1, meaning that that's the first listing that comes up in the search. All right. So yes, obviously they're probably getting some sales from this keyword, especially because they've got that Amazon's choice badge. But let's just browse what else is going on here. Because remember, when we're talking about competition, we're not competing with just one product. We're competing with anybody who is coming up here in these search results. So let's look at some of these others that come up. And the first thing that I'm noticing here is I'm seeing all kinds of different products. Like what do we have here, Tim?
We've got, I don't know, this bottle opener. We've got more rubber duckies. We've got candy.
Hold on.
We've got
speaking about vocabulary here. What the heck is a party favor, anyways? A baby shower party favor.
I guess that's what you give out as gifts at a baby shower.
Okay, you know what? That makes sense then. Okay, so now all of a sudden that makes more sense. But still, that's kind of strange that seeds is the number one. Like, who thinks to give seeds out at a baby shower? But anyways, some of these make sense. Succulents, okay, kind of makes sense, I guess.
Plants.
Baby bottle opener.
There's a bunch of those just on this initial page.
I see a lot of baby
bottles. I see a lot of bottle openers and wine glasses. I think there's a theme for baby showers there.
Did baby poopy? There we go.
And there you go. So long story short, what we're looking at is, even though this is position 1, I'm not 100% sure that there's a lot of room left as far as relevancy to compete if we were to sell that same product too. You know, it is the only product on page 1 that has anything to do with seeds. So my suspicion is there's not a lot of people looking for that specific product, meaning there might not be much demand for that product, even though they happen to have ranked high for this keyword. And they could have done a lot of things to make that happen. They could have had huge giveaways. They could have had huge PPC spend to get to that spot. So even though it looked really good, I'm feeling a little less confident, but I know there's still some more things that we can do.
You know what I want to do? I'm going to take a page out of your book. You talked last episode about Pinterest and Etsy being kind of ahead of the game, right? So let's go to Pinterest and let's see what's the keyword here? Baby shower
party favors. And we're just going to see if other people are associating the flower seeds with baby shower party favors. That's all we're doing. Is this isn't data. This isn't like something you can put in a spreadsheet. We're using just intuition and looking at the screen right now and trying to figure out what people are telling Pinterest they're associating so that we can make kind of a good comparison. I'm seeing a lot of the same items. The succulent plants are everywhere, right? So a lot of these on Pinterest are succulent
bags.
Plants. We've got more
beer. Why are people putting beer in baby showers?
Beer and wine theme. A lot of the same stuff that we said on the first page. I see.
And I'm scrolling down.
I see more of the candy.
I see nothing about. So, like, again, I'm not feeling as confident as I was the last time we did this, or when we filmed the last episode, when it looked like a pretty good opportunity, because I'm not seeing any indications that there's some kind of trend where people like to get seeds at baby showers.
Again, we're not saying it's a good idea. We're not saying it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to win in this game. We're just trying to show you ways in which we can validate on and off Amazon to give us just a good idea. And I think this really does give a good example that shows, even though that product was position 1 on Amazon, it looks like in the big scheme of things, people really aren't associating those two products together.
I still want to.
Yeah, let's check.
I don't want to give up hope. Let's look at. All right, so here we are on Etsy. Let's do that same search: baby shower party favors, and what is trending on Etsy.
Because think Etsy and Pinterest, they want to show the most relevant items just like Amazon does. So it's really simple. We don't have to overthink this. We type in the exact same keyword phrase on Etsy, and Etsy literally shows us what it believes to be the most popular, relevant, or sales-worthy items. So we're looking at this again. We're seeing succulent plants. We're seeing a few different things here. We're seeing a few more handcrafted things. And I would have guessed that like flower seeds would have been more likely to pop up on Etsy than Pinterest.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing it on either.
I'm not seeing it here either. I thought this is trail mix though. That's not seeds.
No, trail mix.
So at this point, like if I had more time, I might do a deeper dive and really try and investigate, like maybe look on Google or Instagram or Facebook and see, did this company do like some kind of promotion or something that got them to be the top selling baby shower party favors? Because again, Amazon is about demand, all right? So I don't see a big demand specifically for seeds that are supposed to be party favors on baby showers. So at this, I don't know about you. Let me know what you think, Tim.
Yeah, I'm not 100% out. This is kind of a conundrum because we have basically a lot of potential sales, at least really high search placement for this product with a pretty basic listing. But the other evidence that we're looking at isn't real promising. So I'd still say it's like 50-50. I would say let's kind of park this and let's go and check the other keywords and then see if any of those pop out as a little more promising. But this one I'm kind of iffy on right now.
We're on the same page. Let's look at the second one, which was egg cartons. This is the one that you said you had sold a while back. I was like, just at first glance, it seems like it could still be opportunity. And you're like saying no. So let's run X-ray on this whole first page. Let's see what kind of estimated sales numbers that a lot of these listings are doing. Now we notice, first of all, that the search volume is about 12,000 per month. Okay, so that's pretty decent.
For egg cartons.
Some demand for egg cartons. Now, one of the things, let me just scroll over here. Let me just tell you my process, Tim. I don't know if it's the same as yours or different, but the things that I like to look at is the sales and the review count, especially. Those are the first two things I look at. What I don't want to see here is like a bunch of people just dominating, or everybody is selling like 1,000 units a month or 10,000 units a month, because to try and match that kind of sales velocity with a new product, is that easy to do on Amazon?
It's not easy to do.
Not easy to do. The other thing I don't like, and now this is why I thought personally that this could be an opportunity here, is review count. Like, look at the number 1 and 2 guys, 12 and 36. The most reviews here in the top 10 is this guy with 181. But let me know your point of view.
Remember what we said. These are not the actual top 2. Why? Because these are sponsored ads. See that? So don't get confused here. These are the top 10. Now, I'll say one thing. The reviews are all really good. Look at these reviews. 4.5, 5-star reviews, so it's a little bit harder to improve upon that. But I can tell you right now, I can take a little bit of a shortcut on this and tell you that the biggest problem with this product is the price. The average price. So the average price, and go ahead and hit this.
Let me look here.
Hit this X out of here.
Which kind were you selling before?
So we were selling like this in a 25 pack.
Okay.
Yep. So we were essentially selling this product right here.
Okay.
And for us to be profitable enough to make it worth our time, we were having to sell well over $30. So the reason that we got out of this product actually is because the prices started to tank.
Let's go into that. Let's see. Let's use another Helium 10 tool here, the profitability calculator. I'm going to pull this up under calculate fees, and it comes up right over here. And let's go through this. What basically profitability calculator does, I don't think you've used this before, so this is probably, I'm teaching Tim how to use this at the same time. It pulls in all of the information from the listing. So we've got the dimensions, the weight, the size tier, what the price is, and what we have to enter in here is the manufacturing cost. So do you remember what your cost was on this?
I don't remember exactly, but it was somewhere around $7.
$7.
By the time we bought it, packaged it, everything.
Okay. And if we leave this freight cost estimate here, that's kind of standard. Yep, we look down here, look at the unit margins on this. 7% profit. Now, is that something, hey, it's profit, right? But is that something that's really worth?
No.
Okay.
One, because there's so many products out there that are so much easier to sell with lower competition, higher margins. But also, you're not in this number, they're not considering pay-per-click costs. And you've got to run PPC ads to start getting on that page 1. So you might be able to move a lot of products. You might be able to have a lot of sales revenue. But to compete on page 1 here, your price is going to have to be so low that you're not going to make any money. It's not going to happen.
All right, I'm a little bit depressed here because our first product that we had wasn't that great. This is the second one, so I don't want to give up just yet. Let me just, again, I'm going to go on keyword searching here. I'm just looking at some titles here for something else that might jump out. I see a couple egg holder right here. Let me just look up there. You gonna bear with me for a little bit? So
Go for it.
I don't look too bad. All right, egg holder. Okay, again, with the low prices. I mean, this is almost worse than that one. Look at this, $13, $6. How in the world are they making any money at that?
There's no way they're making money doing that. That's an interesting keyword, skelter. It's that spiral thing that holds the eggs. That's kind of interesting. But keep scrolling down because a lot of these still look like very similar type products. And
what the heck is this?
That is
a pare? I don't even know what that is. All right, this is getting me on my nerves here. I'm gonna get off of Amazon. Let's go back to Pinterest. So we were on Etsy here. Let me go back to Pinterest. Let's look up egg holder here, and please, can I find something?
What we might be able to do is find that there's a demand for these egg items. We just don't have the right product yet. Oh my God.
Yo. Well, look at the difference. That's baby shower. Look at the difference between egg holder on Amazon.
So hold on, let me just do a quick scan through here. So we type egg holder in Amazon, and this is what Amazon is offering to people. And it's all these plastic metal items, right? But go back over there to Pinterest. Literally, remember, Pinterest is way ahead of Amazon. Pinterest is where people sit on their phone and click the things that they like. So Pinterest is literally telling us what people like. Yeah. And the very top results of egg holder on Pinterest are nothing like what we've seen on
I don't
Amazon.
even see one. Is there one plastic one? There's like maybe this one is plastic, but what you know what I am seeing? I'm seeing wooden egg holders everywhere here on the top. Look at this.
That's
dominating.
ridiculous.
I didn't see one on Amazon.
Look, people are even do-it-yourself ones down here on the right.
Do it yourself. Let's scroll down. Still, I see wooden ones all over the place. So, you know, you're the Pinterest expert here, but if I'm interpreting your original instruction about this is Pinterest is ahead of the game. So maybe this means that people who are searching for egg holders are actually looking for wooden ones now, maybe, or that's trending.
Yeah, so we've seen this, and Pinterest has told us exactly what people like. Like, people are literally telling us, based on search placement, that people like these wooden trays. Let's bump over to Etsy and literally type in the same keyword egg holder and see what Etsy tells us.
All right, so Etsy, say, let's go here, and egg holder.
There it is. So we've got some of the plastic ones, but on page one within the first 15 or 20 listings, the exact same.
Half of them are wooden.
Yeah,
almost
the wooden,
on here.
The
on
wooden
Etsy.
theme.
Wow. All right. So with this knowledge, now let's go back to Amazon. What's the next step here?
I think that we should type egg tray.
Egg tray?
And let's see what egg tray says. So what I'd like to do, let's just scroll through here and just confirm that with multiple keywords, whether it's egg holder or egg tray, we're basically looking at the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's almost the same. So what I'd be curious about is maybe what the plastic. Hey, there we go.
And that one doesn't look nearly as nice as the ones on Pinterest, but only 2 reviews. They're running out of stock, it looks like, and the price is much higher than the plastic.
Those $10 ones, right?
Yeah, much, much higher. So my suspicion is that there is some demand for this. So one thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that people are searching for these keywords, right?
Yeah.
So let's go over to Magnet, right? Helium 10 tool Magnet, and let's type in egg tray and egg holder and just make sure that, you know, we're not crazy, that people are actually looking for those keywords on Amazon, and then maybe we can make a connection through the Pinterest and Etsy results and determine, hey, if all we do is offer this different option, like, people should buy this, right?
Mm-hmm. So Magnet is a different tool from Helium 10. It's different than Cerebro. With Cerebro, if you remember, we put in an ASIN or an Amazon product, and we got a list of keywords. Here in Magnet, I'm entering a keyword, in this case, egg holder, and what I'm trying to see is some potentially relevant keywords to egg holder. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to search for some higher, search terms, maybe at least 400 search terms, and I'm looking for the organic. Again, I'm looking for what the other good sellers of egg holder are kind of ranking high for on Amazon, because those could potentially be some keywords here.
And one thing that we have to remember is you don't just sell a product on one keyword, okay? So when we're looking at search volume, we're not looking for a magic number. I know there's people out there that teach, only sell products with 10,000 searches or more a month on one keyword. I hate that, because everybody else is doing that. It becomes super competitive. And we can take keywords like egg holder for refrigerator, and just add those two, and we're at we're almost at 10,000 just in those. Egg container, a lot of egg containers, chicken decor, that's interesting. So between several keywords, I like to come up with 5 keywords that are, able to carry a large volume of the searches, and add those together to a search volume. And I'm just looking right here, we're looking at a lot of search volume based on just these 5 keywords, right? These 5 or 6 that we picked. So there's a whole lot of opportunity that I'm seeing here for those keywords. Now, most people that teach mainstream private label are going to say, whoa, Tim Bradley, wait. Nobody's selling wooden egg trays, right? They're not on there. So how do we check sales revenue? To be honest, I don't care about sales revenue, because if I'm looking at sales revenue, I'm only looking at products that other people are selling. Remember, we want to be ahead of everybody. So there's search volume, a substantial amount of search volume for the keywords that we would try to rank on for this product. And we know that other people like this different variation. So I got to tell you, the cardboard pulp egg cartons, garbage.
Yeah. But we got saved here.
But we got saved. And that happens all the time. I call it running down rabbit trails.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged. When you're looking at one product and it's saturated, keep going, keep going, keep going. If you stop and you start eliminating all these potential product ideas just on surface value, you're going to miss a lot of these deeply hidden product opportunities. If we had just stopped on these egg cartons like I wanted to, because I know they're not a good product to sell, we wouldn't have potentially found this one. So I'm going to say that this is still on our list, and we'll come back later and we'll identify some more keywords, whether it's egg holder or egg tray. I think any of them would work. But just for the validation purpose of this, I think this is so far a pretty good looking one.
And remember, we didn't see wooden egg trays on Amazon. So again, what Tim was saying before, the traditional way is like, oh shoot, this is not going to have high demand because nobody is buying wooden egg trays. It's not on page 1 of any of these keywords. But again, we are going next level. Pinterest, Etsy, it's ahead of the game on Amazon. We're not just guessing that maybe there's going to be a trend of a demand for wooden egg trays. We have that validated when we went to Pinterest and Etsy. So now we literally could potentially be the first one to start showing up on the first page of egg holder and egg tray of wooden. And guess what? What people's mind is, they obviously maybe are searching for a wooden one, but they just end up having to buy these plastic ones because they don't see it available.
Or they didn't know the wooden ones existed. And as soon as we show it to them, and we can run a PPC campaign to put it on page 1 until it starts ranking, and then theoretically, as long as people want it, they're going to buy it. And we've got no competition for that exact same product.
Cool. I'm pumped. Let's go to the next one.
All right.
My favorite one from last episode.
This is the one with huge search volume. This is the burrito blanket.
Burrito blanket. Here we go. All right. Yep. There it is right there.
Someone was walking by earlier and saw through the glass, and they said, what are you guys shopping for food on Amazon for?
Yeah, there's some tortillas right here. Let's go ahead and run X-ray on this page. I just want to kind of see what kind of numbers these guys are doing. Again, the end of all things is not the sales that people are doing, but it can give you an idea of what's going on in the market. If there's a lot of low sales numbers here, that does not mean that it's a guaranteed no-go, right? But at the same time, if there's tons of amazing sales here, don't think that that's an indication of guaranteed success either, all right? But it's still good to know what's going on here. Holy cow. That's crazy. Look, that's the search one, but look at this. Are you looking at what I'm looking at right here, Tim? Look at these estimated monthly sales numbers here. These guys are selling $250,000 a month of burrito blankets. Now, we talked about the sales not being the end of all things, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is red flag number 1 for me. Why? When I just see like 1, 2, or 3 guys selling something completely way different than the rest, what about you? Like, that gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, and I'll say this. It means that it's going to be hard to compete with them because they've got a ton of sales volume. So they're probably getting better pricing from the factory than I could for a smaller order. It's going to be really hard to usurp them for that like number 1, number 2, number 3 page position. But holy cow, that's a lot of sales. Now, I'll say this, and I'm not saying whether this is right or wrong yet, but there are a lot of schools of thought, like in mainstream private label practices, that say, hey, if there's that many sales, we can take our share. So even if we're number 7 and we're only doing 1/10 of the sales of the top 2, maybe we just have a little bit better pictures, which is funny because all these pictures are the same.
That was literally what I was about to say.
Optimize just a little bit better. Maybe we can capture some of that. And I've seen people have success. I've seen people successfully sell products with those methods. However, we need to be extremely careful because these numbers are exciting. There's probably a lot of people seeing these data. Look, valuation result 10 of 10 on this listing. Mm-hmm. I suspect that this will soon blow up into an extremely competitive product really fast. And the only way that people will win in that scenario is by driving the price down to stay relevant. So
yeah, I'm just looking back and forth in these listings and it, I mean, I could be paranoid, but it almost seems like this might, I mean, these are different sellers here, but it might be different. What's the price here? $5.
That's odd.
Oh my goodness, $5 and free shipping. That's red flag number 2. $5 and free shipping. There is something strange going on here. All right, you know what? I don't understand why the pictures are all the same. Let me look at Alibaba. That's another thing that people do for research. Not just, a lot of people go to Alibaba. It's a Chinese website where you can order things.
That's a great idea. Who'd you hear that idea from?
I don't know. Some guy with a beard, maybe.
So let me explain what we're doing right now. Remember that I won't say all, but most of the people that we're competing with for private label products are sourcing and launching generally through the same methods. And one of those methods for sourcing is to go to Alibaba. So if you reverse this process that we're doing, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're tracking search volume with low competition to see what we should sell.
Yeah.
Well, I promise you that Alibaba sellers, which are mostly in China, are doing the exact same thing. So they're tracking search volume. And guess where their search volume is coming from? Guys like us, right? So theoretically, when we look this up, what we can do is see a correlation of potential saturation coming towards Amazon based on how many people are searching for it on Alibaba, right? Are you following me? I hope so. If not, post some questions here. But let's just check this out. The exact same keyword.
All right. This, for me, is red flag number 2. I am seeing tons and tons of burrito blankets right here from all kinds of different factories. Like, look at this. I'm scrolling. I still have not found the end of burrito blankets. There's a pizza blanket. It's still going.
So what this means is the manufacturers of these blankets see an enormous demand. And if that demand,
look at this.
If that demand is showing up here, it probably means that there's a lot of other private label sellers looking at this product right now, which has spiked the demand on Alibaba, which means more people have put up listings. So because there's so many people with so many listings and people are already Amazon hot sell.
That's another red flag for me.
This is one of those things where when we add this to the fact that there's such high sales volume, which would be hard to compete with, but also remember there's a lot of other people that are tracking data along with us. And those high sales numbers are exciting. So between that and this, I'm starting to think that there's, can't see in the future, but I suspect that in 6 or 7 months from now, there's going to be 100 listings of burrito blankets on Amazon, and the price will have tanked, and it will be a completely dead, saturated product.
Yeah, so there's a lot of red flags. What were some of these red flags where there's just 3 huge sellers just dominating? And actually, that in itself sometimes should give you pause. There's been a lot of news stories come out about what's called, I'm actually not wearing a hat today. Usually I am wearing a black hat, but black hat in Amazon terminology, it refers to people who are doing nefarious things to attack other sellers.
Malicious.
Like, what are some of these things that you've heard of people doing to other sellers?
Negative review campaigns,
counterfeit campaigns.
Yeah, counterfeit campaigns. People going in and messing up your listing to make it get de-indexed. There's a lot of stuff going on, and listings based on keywords with extremely high volume are more likely to be attacked by those black hat malicious methods. So, I like to fly under the radar just a little bit less. So this is a little bit scary to me. Now, I wouldn't say this is a complete no, but let's keep it on the list. Yeah. And we've seen a lot of information here.
So far, the egg holder is my, that one's like hey, this definitely merits, further review, but burrito blanket and the seeds are kind of the so far. So to recap, what were some of those red flags? The red flag number 1 for me was when I pulled up X-Ray, I saw estimated sales where there's 3 sellers just completely crushing it with $250,000 and everybody else was way low. That just seems a little bit fishy to me. Number 2, they all seem to have the same images possibly and really similar listing structure. So it could be the same seller who's maybe has multiple seller accounts. And in that case, that could be somebody who is willing to attack other people who are trying to take his position. Now, what was the red flags here on Alibaba for you?
So Alibaba, this is showing me that manufacturers and factories that are making this product know that there's a giant surge of demand, right? And if there's a giant surge of demand for the manufacturers, there's probably going to be a lot more sellers. The 4th red flag that I saw was some of those crazy low prices. One of those top sellers was selling it for $5 in free shipping. I know there's no way they're making money. which means people are being very, very aggressive in trying to locate themselves in search positions, and that scares me quite a bit, I'd say. So I wouldn't say this is definitely a no. I think that the egg tray was a little bit more clear, like there's some opportunity there, but just based on search volume, because so many people are searching for this blanket and there's not many results, let's go ahead and keep it on the list.
Okay.
So I guess
let's go to the next one, number 4.
Number 4. So this is the weird one. This is the one that we started off with, the whole sugar skull concept, right? And then as we're cruising around a little bit before, we found these coffin bookshelves. And can I steal your mouse?
Sure. Or my mouse or the pen?
Both. Thank you, sir. All right. So we start looking around at these coffin shelves. If we type in coffin bookshelf, one thing that I like to look at is relevancy on page 1. Okay. So if I type in coffin bookshelf, remember, these are sponsored ads. So we start here and go this way. So we see one coffin shelf. The number 2 position is not a coffin bookshelf. Number 3 is some sort of prop. Number 4, not a coffin bookshelf, right? So my point is we're cruising through here and looking at all of these different search results. A lot of these are not relevant. Now they might be somewhat similarly themed, like this is a coffin, this is a coffin, this is a bookshelf, this is an end table. This is neither a coffin or a shelf. So what's that mean? We've talked a lot about page placement, and sometimes it's hard to get to position 1 or position 2. But these people are accidentally getting onto position 1 or position 2 for coffin bookshelf, and they're not even selling coffin bookshelves. So what I'd like to do...
Teacher,
yes,
I found something I think you missed. That is another reason.
Sold by merchant. So let me explain that. There's multiple ways in which you can sell on Amazon. The way that we like most is FBA, which stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. And what that means is we own the inventory, but we send it to Amazon and they distribute it throughout their warehouses, and then they ship it for us. It's amazing. There's very, very few scenarios where FBA is not better. They get better shipping rates than us. They handle all the customer service. They handle everything. It helps put your business on autopilot. But there are some people who still like to warehouse their inventory. Now, these might be individuals who are selling on multiple online websites and they need to control their inventory so they can ship out as sales come in, or they have brick and mortar stores and they like to sell, their products in their brick and mortar store and maybe ship some to Amazon customers if they buy. So those are the merchant fulfilled customers. Now, what that means is that they are less likely to make sales because we know that Amazon customers like FBA orders, which most customers know as Prime. Yes. Prime, the free 2-day shipping, 2-day right? Shipping. So that's why we don't see any of these listings as Prime, right? Well, I guess these two are.
And they're not even the kind of product that we were looking at.
Same kind of product. So what this tells me is more opportunity, because even if we sold this exact same product, right? This exact same product, and obviously we'd figure out why they have 2 stars and we'd fix that. If we sold the exact same product, we would rank higher than they would because Amazon gives preference to FBA sold inventory, right? So that's just one more little thing that, thank you, Bradley, for noticing that gives us an opportunity to beat these people at their own game and rank on page 1, I would say almost instantly on this.
Let me show you what I do. Again, I'm not necessarily the main avatar of a custom or a typical Amazon buyer. The very first thing that I do whenever I search something on Amazon is I do this. Let me zoom in here so everybody can see. I hit this button right here. All I want to see is the Prime items. Now, if this was me and I was searching for this, I hit that button first before I even start looking. Guess what? I don't see any of those coffin bookshelves anymore. So there's a lot of customers who are like me out there. They instantly would not have found that product maybe that they were looking for because there's no Prime offers.
So let's go back and do this. Let's check Pinterest and let's refresh you on how we found this. We found this with Gothic Decor, if I remember correctly. And we typed Gothic Decor. We saw all of these coffin bookshelves. And some of these on here are larger. Some of these are smaller. Some of these are not even bookshelves. They're just like tchotchke shelves. But there's a lot of the similar products and similar themes here. So when we were looking up Gothic decor on Pinterest, we were finding a lot of stuff. This is pretty generic phrase, but we see a lot of these coffin shelf type items, which led us to that idea of a coffin shelf. But there's a discrepancy here. On Amazon, we were looking at coffin shelf, and here on Pinterest, we're looking at Gothic decor. So what I'd like to do is go back to Amazon, and let's look up Gothic decor. Because my suspicion is that the keyword volume for coffin bookshelf is a little bit lower, but I bet Gothic decor is pretty high. So as we're looking through this, I'm seeing a little bit of the same scenario that we saw last time, which is a lot of really irrelevant stuff. I mean, candles, people running sponsored ad for candles. I see a lot of merchant fulfilled inventory, right? Mm-hmm. Some of this down here is merchant fulfilled. And that's kind of giving me an indicator that there are probably a lot of different keywords that we could sell this on. So we would rank for additional keywords than just coffin shelf, right? Yeah. So why don't you drive for a second and let's go over to Magnet and let's find some potential keywords and see what kind of search volume there is, because obviously, we know that there's very little competition for that because they're all merchant fulfilled. The prices seems to be really high, but let's make sure that there's some search volume. And this is going to be a scenario we might have to get a little bit creative, because even if coffin shelf doesn't have huge volume, we can stack up other keywords that are relevant to create a larger list of search volume. So let's just type coffin shelf, see what happens.
So as a reminder, what happens when we're searching for a coffin shelf is it's going out there, checking some top selling coffin shelves and seeing what other keywords are those products using in their listings and actually maybe getting some performance from. So we got 102 organic words only. So what's our next step?
Search volume.
Search volume, first of all, yeah.
1371. Now, let me say this. There are a lot of people in mainstream private label that would say that there are certain search volume numbers that are too low. I disagree, okay? Right now, as we're continuing to launch products through my own business, we are frequently having more success in the lower search volume with literally no competition because our price margins go up and it's easier to launch. We can start with lower volume. We don't have to have these extravagant giveaway and PPC campaigns. We can just do it over and over and over again with very minimal risk and almost no competition, like we showed you on this coffin shelf. So, coffin shelf estimated search volume 1371. Does that seem like a lot?
Usually it wouldn't. However, I've got to say that if you're going to search for a keyword like coffin shelf, you've probably got a lot of buyer intent. Like if you search for something Gothic decor, Amazon is like what, the second biggest search engine next to Google or something like that, or even more than Google. So sometimes there's people who search for words just to kind of like we were kind of using Pinterest, right? We're just trying to get ideas and stuff. So like if I enter Gothic decor, I might be just trying to get ideas. But if I'm searching for coffin shelf, in my opinion, there's a lot of people who are going to buy a product off of that search. Gothic decor, more kind of like window shoppers maybe, but what do you think?
Yeah, I know that there are thousands and thousands, probably tens of thousands of people that would love to get into the Amazon game. And they're timid, they're scared, they see so much competition, they see so much investment. Guys, this is step one. Step one is finding a product like this that has low enough volume that there's not a bunch of other people noticing that. Until you've seen this item on this Project X case study, there's probably very few people that knew this product existed. Now there's a lot, but if I could dominate page one for coffin shelf, by getting top placement, by having an FBA listing, and by doing a better job than those other sellers and getting the price down where it needs to be, even if we were a little less than them at $30, I suspect my profit margin would be extremely high. And if there's 1,371 searches a month, and we only got 300 or 400 sales, guys, that's a success. Don't let anybody tell you there's a certain number of sales that you have to succeed. That right there is probably a few $1,000s a month in your pocket for a product that most people would say is not a good one. There's no competition. It should be easy to source. And I bet there's more keywords that we can stack on this to increase it from 1,300. So let's go in here in the search volume and adjust that. And let's find any other keywords with more than, let's say, let's keep it low, 750.
Okay.
Let's do 750.
That's actually decent number right there. I mean, that's like more than 20 people a day. No, 30 times. Yeah, more than 20 people a day.
So we have to go down here and start looking at Gothic related stuff. And remember, this is a little bit abstract.
Horror decor. I like that word.
Horror decor. So
say that 10 times fast.
So there's Gothic 1,000 decor, searches.
Gothic decor, home decor.
Gothic home decor. There's that coffin shelf again.
Gothic furniture. Caskets and coffins. Interesting.
So if we just added up those few, and we don't have time to go deep into it on this episode, but I suspect that most of those keywords are very undersaturated. I suspect that we could rank our coffin shelf product on page 1 for all of those keywords pretty quickly. And now we're getting close to that 5, 6, 7,000 searches a month territory with extremely little competition, and probably in a manner that most of our competitors would never recognize or never realize, which would give us an extremely good opportunity. All right, so we know that with this weird looking purple coffin shelf that we have some search volume for coffin shelf, but I'd like to know if people are looking for the big ones or the small ones, like maybe if people are actually looking for this, and we've looked at this little purple one.
There's no way that purple is the best color for a coffin shelf. I mean, that's got to be like a hipster Gothic person or something.
So let's pull up all the different versions of the coffin shelf and maybe see which color has more reviews, maybe, to see which color is more popular.
Now, first, let me just see what they have in stock. Let's just take a look at their... I'm going to take a look at their storefront. So, by the way, for those of you who don't know how to look at the storefront of other sellers, what you do is you go here to the bottom right, and then you hit who all the sellers are, and then you click on right here their seller information, and then that'll take you to this page. By the way, this is also a cool way to do product research. Sometimes you might follow some, what did you call them, rabbit
trails.
Rabbit trails, like just from somebody's storefront. All right, so let me look up in their store coffin shelf. Okay, I see okay. Answer me this. When I think Gothic, when I think coffin, what color do you think I'm thinking of?
Black.
Black. I don't even see a black one here. So it could be that they're out of stock or something. So actually there's a way to find this in Black Box. Let's go to Black Box. And the cool thing about Black Box, and sometimes it's cool to search for products on Black Box, in addition to product research, is because we're showing you products that have been selling. Maybe they were suspended before, or maybe they're just out of stock or something. So this is going to allow us to look for this. I'm going to go in advanced filters. What was the name of that brand again?
Sourpuss.
Sourpuss.
Coffin?
Coffin. Coffine. We'll put coffin. And this might be enough to go on. Boom.
Whoa.
So look at that. There's two black ones here.
Two variations that are not listed on Amazon right now, presumably because they're out of stock.
Yeah, you can see right here. Look at that. 0 sellers. So
0 sellers. And these colors, scroll down a little bit, it looks like, it's also probably safe to say, looking at the review count, see the black ones have, 10 and 17 reviews, where it looks like the purple one has a lot less. It looks like it only has 4.
And that makes sense. Like, I don't know who's buying a purple coffin.
So I suspect that there's a way that we can figure out maybe when they ran out of stock and see what their...
Well, let's just take a look at their BSR history. Or actually, we can go to the page. What do you want to do? We can go to the page. We can check right here in Black Box.
Let's go straight to the page.
Let's go to the page. All right. So, yep, as we can see, currently unavailable right here. People like that one. Wow, 10 5-star reviews.
That listing is still really, really weak.
And let's go here to, what do you say, last 90 days?
Let's stretch it out to... So let me explain what BSR is. BSR is basically the sales rank of a product. And the lower the number is, the better the sales rank is. So the number 1 product, very low number 1 product on Amazon, theoretically is the number 1 selling product on Amazon. Now, Amazon, of course, doesn't give us actual sales numbers, how many units they sold, but we use the BSR, the sales rank, as an indicator of what we can assume their sales revenue is based on the category that they're placed in. But what all this means is, let's go ahead and stretch this out to 90 days. Oh, whoa.
Look at that.
All right, so what we're looking at here, let me explain this. As we scroll through and we look at the immediate BSR, right? The immediate BSR, let me check this. All right, so as we're scrolling through, we look at the immediate BSR. there's two lines here. One, this is the price, which means they leave the price here plus shipping. If we look at the BSR is pretty high, over 1 million. But what happens right here? Right here, the sales rank drops. This is probably where they sent more inventory in, or they made more inventory available. It looks like for just a couple days here, they sold enough to really drop their ranking, and then it starts creeping up.
To me, that's like they're out of stock. Like maybe all throughout this time, wait, let me grab that pen there. Like to me, like 1 million BSR, it's like you're not selling anything. So for all of this time, it's like they had no stock. And right here, maybe they sent, 30 units in. It sold out in what, like 3 days? It sold out, and that's why the BSR climbed back up.
So let's stretch this time back out to 1 year and see what happens.
Whoa.
Wow. So it looks like they had some stock here.
Yeah.
Ran out of stock. Their BSR started climbing again. Boom, they've got stock. It looks like very consistent sales through here.
Yep.
And they started running out of stock again. And this is what you just saw in the 30 days. Boom, they ran out of stock. So what's really cool about this is people probably aren't tracking this as a potential product. Our potential competitors probably don't even realize that there's a good opportunity here because the sales revenue is poor because it looks like of the past 12 months, they've only had stock for several months worth. I mean, they keep running out of stock. So what's that mean? It means that the one person that's selling this product that we know has search volume, that has 5-star reviews, never has any inventory in stock.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because it means the one competitor that we would have right now isn't doing anything correctly. We could rank easily. We'll have FBA inventory. We'll make a better listing. We'll be placed instantly for very high search results for Coffin Shelf. And our competitors really aren't going to be much of competition.
And this is why, slap people in the face who tell you, hey, everybody is searching for the same thing, so there's no point to use tools to do product research because we're all going to come across the same products or anybody can find these things. First of all, we just showed you, if somebody was just using Amazon, right, to search, they would never have even found this product because it's been out of stock for, it looks like, a month or something, right? Number two, if they were using, tools, they might have found the purple one or something, and then they'd be like, this doesn't look good. Like, how would they even found this product? So, guys, there are products out there that are available that I guarantee you, 99.9% of sellers would never have found this, but this guy is the 0.1% out there.
So, there's another thing that I want to look at, and we know we have consistent search volume, estimated through Helium 10, which was over 1,000 searches a month for this very exact product. But there are other ways that we can look at potential trending products, and that's through Trendster. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go back down. We're going to grab this ASIN, which is the Amazon inventory number, right? We're going to copy this. We know that we're looking at coffin box as the keywords. We're going to go back into coffin shelf, back into black box, and we're going to go to Trendster. And this is a pretty cool tool that gives us some information about whether it's trending up or down. So
generally, not on Amazon, but just like it's tying into Google Trends.
This is really cool because this actually goes off of Amazon. And here, if you would type in coffin shelf, and let's find out.
Let's take a look. Whoa, I like it.
That's awesome. So as you can see, this is a plugin directly from Google Trends. So our term coffin shelf, and even giving it the extra data of the specific ASIN or listing that we're looking at that's completely out of stock, you can see that this is trending up. So even Google, we're not talking about just Amazon, we're not talking about just Helium 10 tools. Google is telling us that there is an upward trend right now for this term coffin shelf. So that's a lot of information that we can use, not necessarily just data points that we plug into a spreadsheet, but just a lot of different pieces of information that we've shown you that, to me, is kind of leading towards the realization that this is probably a pretty decent product opportunity.
I agree.
So let's jump over to Alibaba, just like we did in that last product, and let's find out, hey, is there a lot of demand for this? Like, are we kind of behind the 8 ball right now? And let's see if people are selling these things. So let's type in coffin shelf. Because remember, we're looking at Alibaba to determine what search volume is going to Alibaba. The number one listing is a tree-shaped woodcut.
Do you guys see the difference, though, between that last one we did, the burrito blanket, and this one? I mean, the burrito blanket was completely filled with the same exact thing, and people saying, hot Amazon. I'm seeing, A cadaver shelf.
A cadaver shelf. That's interesting. So what this is telling me is that there are so few people that are private label sellers or just sellers in general that are going to Alibaba searching for Coffin Shelf, that the manufacturers on Alibaba have no clue. They have no clue that this is a potentially good product. What does that mean for us? Low competition. This is exactly what we've been talking about. Success in a private label product is not determined by a certain number of sales revenue or a certain number of searches or a certain number of units sold. Success on Amazon is determined by your profitability. How much money can you make per sale? And how many times can you do that over and over and over again by launching these simple items that are not competitive? This is it. This is the definition, in my opinion, of what I get extremely excited about, because we'll do a little more research, but for all intents and purposes, I can definitively say there is search demand for this product and the competition based on our Alibaba search results and the fact that the page one results are just garbage. The competition is extremely low. Yeah. I think that this is one of the top on our list for sure.
All right, so we got 2 good ones, 2 ones so far. So I hope you guys can see the process though. In all of these 4 ones that we've done so far, we haven't even done the same process in each one. So it's the same thing that we talked about before. So many times people try and tell you, this is the only way to do things. This is what success means. This is this is that. Guys, no, all right? There's all kinds of different ways to validate. There's different ways to find products. There's different ways to look for opportunity. And we've gone over some of those ways right here. And I hope you guys at least can take that from this, is like, don't let people tell you that there's only one way to skin a cat, even though I can only think of one way to skin a cat, so I don't know where that phrase comes from.
So let me ask this. If any of you have a different method or different way that you use to find ideas, can you put that in the comments below? Because I'd love to see this. What we're going to prove by you answering these questions is that there are thousands and thousands of ways of doing this. We just want to show you kind of the process, not necessarily the direct methods, because there's a lot of different methods, but just the process of using all of the information that we have, not just the data, not just the numbers, not just an Excel pivot table, but all of these different data points to make an informed decision, maybe based on a little bit of creativity, to figure out which keywords have potential and which don't.
All right, so that was our 4th product. Now we have one more, right?
4th keyword.
What was that?
Yes. So the 5th keyword that we had were those hatchets that we found in China. So let's go back and do some kind of further analyzation. Was that a good word? Okay. Right. So hatchet.
See a lot of plastic.
So right here, we're already looking at page 1 and editorial recommendations. I don't know 100% what that is, but basically Amazon is telling us just on page 1, they're showing us a similar product. So we've got one here. We've got one here. Let's go ahead and just go into this listing right here, Bradley, and let's kind of learn more about that product. And it's interesting that it's look, there's another one.
I can't see the ASIN here on that one. There it is right there.
There it is right there. So, all right, what's another thing that you notice right here? We're on page 1 of Hatchet, and we know that search volume for Hatchet is very high. We've already checked that. Yeah. We're on page 1 for Hatchet, and what do you notice about that listing that's very interesting?
That is a non-TOS compliant main image because it's not full white background.
Correct. So Amazon, for the #1 picture spot, requires us to have this white background, which you see in all these other listings. These are all terms of service compliant and look good. But this one, on page 1, for an extremely competitive keyword, hatchet, is not even terms of service compliant. And Amazon enforces these rules and these terms of service by suppressing, your listing search results. So if we're on page 1 with a non-TOS compliant image, that tells me that there's probably a lot of people buying this product. So if it's all right with you, Bradley, let's click into that listing and let's check it out a little bit. I'm not familiar with that brand, but look, some of their other listing images look like they are terms of service compliant.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that.
Weird. That's so weird. It's not
rookie mistake.
Yeah, rookie mistake. It's not very well optimized. So let's check Cerebro and let's see what keywords this is indexing on, and because we don't want to call this thing a hatchet because hatchet's competitive. So we need to find a different keyword that we can attach to this very specific style of axe so that we can rank for that, and we know what to call it, and we know how to optimize our listings. And of course, we need to do research to even validate this as a potential product idea.
All right, we've got, let's see, 245 organic keywords. I want to narrow that down. So I think I'm going to put in here organic rank. Let's see what they're on, like page 1-4 or page 1 or 2. So organic rank 1 to 50. Let's look at words, maybe search for, what do you say?
You're like 400.
400? All right, 400.
And again, we're using some different numbers for this criteria on different products because we want to show you there's a lot of different great products that you can sell that have lower search volume with one keyword, but we can spread those out over many keywords.
Yeah.
We fly under the radar, it's less competitive, and there's still a lot of sales potential there. So
a lot of people might try and tell you, oh, 400 search volume, that's nothing. That's like 10 searches a day. But just think about it. You know, I would love to be getting sales. Like maybe I can get 2 sales a week from keywords with low search volume. But if I'm ranking high for like 100 of those keywords, hey, I'm happy with that, as opposed to trying to get 50 sales just from one keyword. And then what something happens with my ranking on that keyword, all my sales, you know, are gone. So don't always try and filter out high search volume because it's not always the best thing. So let's take a look here. It narrowed it down from 245 down to 30. So let's just scan. I see a lot of the brand name here, the Grands first.
Yeah, and Grands first. Remember, we have to be careful because people may be specifically looking for that brand. Mm-hmm. So we can eliminate this. This is kind of inconsequential data. But what we're looking for are keywords that are more generic. So let's just kind of scroll through here. We see things like small forest axe.
I like that word.
So small forest axe, that seems fairly ambiguous. There's another forest axe. We see camp axe. We see something that's not even an axe. We see longer tail keywords like camping axes and hatchets. But just in this screen, if we eliminate the brand names, which is the Holtz, the Marbles, the Husqvarna, the Fiskars, it looks like there's a lot of similarities with this forest axe.
Yeah.
So just based on a really quick initial scan, it looks like forest axe may be a potential keyword that people are associating with this very specific style. So Bradley, if you would, right here, click this little button, and that little button is going to take us directly to the search result page in Amazon for forest axe.
Yo, look at these price points. $180, $160, $147, $75.
And relevance is high. Remember, we talked about sales relevance. When someone is searching for something on Amazon, the buyer intent is high. We need to have a pretty exact match. And looking at this
takes us back to that seed example. Remember when we went to, what was that we searched for? Something party favor, yeah, baby shower party favors.
Yep.
There's like one that had a seed. So like people who are searching for party favors, that shows that they're searching for a variety of things. But here, if somebody's searching for forest axe, it looks like it's one of these.
Very exact match. So if we eliminate these two, which are sponsored ads, and we just start looking at the rest of these. Of course, here's our non-TOS compliant, the one that we follow this rabbit trail down as the #1 spot. But this looks the same, this looks the same, this looks the same, this looks the same, maybe a tiny bit longer handle.
Let's scroll down here. Yeah, look at all these.
Yeah, this all looks extremely relevant. These all look like essentially the same thing. So very, very interesting. To me, this is kind of leading us to the realization, or leading me to the realization at least, that forest axe may be an extremely good keyword to attach this type of product. Yeah. So there's different variations. We saw forest axe, we saw small forest axe. I suspect that there's 20 different ways that we can say forest axe and attach keyword search volume to it so that we can have our product show up on a lot of different pages. And remember, the price that we got in China was a few dollars. Look at these price points. This one's a little cheaper.
Let's plug that in. Let's plug that. I'm just curious what kind of, which one should I put? I want to see what, this is the one that we were looking at, right?
Correct.
The Grands first one. Let's go ahead and run the profitability calculator here. And this is probably going to be something insane. All right. So what should we put in as the price? Like $5, $4?
Yeah, between packaging and everything, let's put $5. Now, I want to say this. We do not have a brand name. So we can't ask for that same price. But even if we came in as...
Let's put a different price. What price do you think we could put here?
Well, based on this screen, we could be pretty inexpensive and still very, very competitive with the lower cost ones for maybe $40. $40. So let's just plug in $40.
Okay. So even at $40, our profit is $20 a piece on it.
That's pretty
even after
good.
All that.
And if we came in at half of our competitor's price and change that to, let's change that to $80.
$53 a unit profit
for a $5 item.
You sell 5 a day. That's how much. That's like what, $250 profit a day on one product just by selling 5. Wow.
And this is one of those things where you can play with the pricing. You can drop it down to $40 or even $35 and try to move a lot more volume, or you can keep your price extremely high, you know, at the $80 or $90 price range, and just have really great packaging, really great branding, and probably sell less volume but higher profitability. But you've got so much room to work and play with this and test and experiment because you have enough margin within this product. There's so many products that people I see launching every day that are fighting with, 2 and 3%, margins and ROIs, and they have no room for failure. They have no room to experiment and play. But an item like this, it looks like you have mountains of room to experiment and play with. And then also, you're not going to have a whole lot of competition because with the sales revenue per keyword fairly low, because search volume is fairly low, we can make that assumption. Then we know that most of the mainstream private labelers that we be competing with don't have a clue that this product is a potential opportunity. So I think this is pretty exciting. I think this is definitely something that we would take on to the next step, which is testing.
And I want to do the Tim Jordan Pinterest search first, though.
Yep.
You got me all excited about Pinterest. Now I'm all about Pinterest here. So let's just make sure that there's some kind of trends. Because remember, again, taking us back to that seed, that party favorite seeds, we didn't see that in Pinterest. So what was that keyword? Forest Acts?
Yeah, let's type in Forest Acts.
Forest 1 or 2 R's? I'm going to go with 1 R.
Wow, look at that. So literally this, except for this one, actually forestry axe for firefighting, the rest of these are all the exact same product, which is extremely, extremely, telling to me that people are associating this keyword. So it looks like we're on the right path for keywords. But remember, there's not an exact science to this. There's some creativity. So we know that the term hatchet has a lot more search volume than forest axe. Just for fun, let's type in hatchet, which we know is a very broad and generic phrase, into Pinterest. Okay. And let's see what Pinterest tells us people are interested in for this keyword.
I see some.
Wow, look at this.
I see some.
So this is exciting because remember when we typed in hatchet on Amazon, we got all this cheap, inexpensive, look like Walmart type products. Mm-hmm. But here we type in hatchet on Pinterest, and what's it showing us?
Yep. Isn't that the exact product?
That is the exact same product. So look at this. All of these different products on page 1 on Pinterest look like a very similar product match, which tells me that there may actually be a case for targeting even the term hatchet. We saw that this product on Amazon was on page 1 for hatchet with a non-terms of service compliant image. So all of this is leading me to the idea that there's really, really good evidence to support the fact that this would be a good private label product for us.
Cool. So, I think this is a yes for me. This definitely warrants further, going to the next step, I would say.
Yeah, so we started with 5 keywords.
Yep.
And out of those 5 keywords, I think that we probably need to pick probably our top half, so top 3. Yeah. I know it's not an exact science with an odd number like 5, but we need to pick
Let's pick 2.5 products.
We need to pick, I think, 3 that have the highest chance of success based on all the different parameters we've looked at.
What's your number 1? Like out of all the 5, what is this is I feel the strongest about this?
That's tough to say because we've got 3 really good ones. Yeah. I love the data that we've got on this axe, and I love this whole probably like trending up theme that I see here. Mm-hmm. But I also like the egg trays. The egg trays.
That's mine.
I knew I was going to be your favorite. The egg trays, I think, have really good potential for a lot of sales volume because we know that term egg tray had a lot of search volume. But I'm actually digging the coffin box. And I'm digging the coffin box largely because there's so many unknowns. And most of those unknowns, I think, are going to be really promising. What I mean by unknowns is we don't know how many sell because they're consistently out of stock.
Yeah.
Right? But I do think there's a lot of different keywords we can attach to it. So I'm really feeling the coffin box. Okay. You're feeling the
tray. Now watch this one be the best one. Who knows?
I definitely think we agree that the burrito blanket, especially based on the information we saw on Alibaba, probably behind the curve.
Too many red flags.
Too many red flags. And I'm not really feeling the flower seeds for the
No.
baby shower party favor.
favors, yeah.
Party favor. I'm getting confused on the keywords because there's a lot of party favors being sold, but nobody else on Pinterest or any of these other sites, even on Amazon, are associating baby shower party favors with the flower seeds. There's just that one up there, and they could have, artificially gotten that ranked really high. So I'm not feeling it. So I think that the 3 products we need to take to the next step are the coffin shelves, the egg trays, and the forest axe. Do you agree with that?
100% on board. And guys, that's how it's going to be. This time we actually got 3 that were pretty confident with 5. You might be sitting there, spending 5-6 hours doing keyword research, going down these rabbit trails, right? And you might come up with 15. That's great, but don't expect that 14 of them are going to be great. That's the whole point of why you do multiple ones. We're kind of limited in this time, so we only were able to pick 5. We found good 3 ones, but it might take 10 products to really, investigate like this just to find one. But take that time. It's actually pretty fun. I don't know about you, but when I start doing product research like this, I'll find out it's like 3 a.m. next thing I know, because it's kind of fun to do this, what we're doing here.
So there's one problem with this.
What's that?
We have a lot of hypotheticals.
True.
So one of those hypotheticals is search volume. We also know that a lot of this is based on just kind of creative thinking, and we don't know exactly what people are associating with keywords. There's a lot of variables here that might be a little bit scary to try to navigate because we're not 100% sure. So next episode, we're going to show you something that I've never seen talked about on a large public scale before, which is really, really awesome. And it's going to be important for you, the listeners, because it's one of the vital steps that we've designed and that we've kind of created to take these ideas and validate them even further and test them. Because we know one of the biggest struggles in private label is the unknown, and it's losing money, it's going big into products and buying a lot of quantity and launching them without knowing for sure if they're going to work. It's taking a lot of risk and a lot of gamble, and we've come up with a way that we've been using for a couple years now. Don't tell them what it is yet. Well,
guy, and this is something that you've never seen from Helium 10 that we have, suggested. I've never seen. I've taken different courses before. I've never seen this method, so I think that you guys are really going to find this amazing and kind of eye-opening, this method. So what else are we going to be going over in that next episode?
We're going to figure out exactly how competitive a keyword is on Amazon.
Okay.
There's no other tools, there's no other methods, there's no other ways of doing this. We're going to make Amazon cough up that information to tell us exactly how competitive a keyword is. And when you know exact search volume, you know exactly how competitive this product is, or this keyword is on Amazon, then we can start to make really informed decisions based on good data, good information on which products we're going to invest our time, money, energy, and effort into. It's going to minimize that risk for you. And we're also going to get all this information through extremely simple methods. It's extremely inexpensive to get started. And it's much safer for you as the seller than just taking this information or taking, a magic keyword that a program spits out at you and tells you, is a definite winner, and then you potentially selling it and getting in a saturated zone and losing money.
Yeah, so don't forget, guys, rewatch this video. If you like the written version, you want to just read it. Some of the points, maybe you can't understand Tim's accent or something. Well, you can see the textual version at helium10.com/X3. All right, thanks, Tim, for this time, and we'll see you guys on episode 4 of Project A.